think what my buddy here is trying to say is that we're should maybe deal with this Lortian shit before we get too adventurous.
Okay. Should we then discuss this on neutral ground without an earshot of any MO?
He can't spell.
Shopping it is.
Yep. So we'll say that you guys you decided that, but Soren's already like in the shop. You guys have been kind of having.
We're just gonna go down and join him, I guess.
Yeah. So
I said all that to you. His
Yeah.
tomfoolery ended up being a better plan than our meeting of the minds.
So you guys, just for your reference, if you're wanting to, you can buy things up to level 3 now.
Wow.
And the store on Flowtop Station, while it is an Avidar Corp hypermarket, it's pretty basic stuff. Like there's no medical supplies like specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Probably source them from himself, like down in Tasmaya for your med pack.
Okay.
But it's really just kind of think of it as like an airport store, but it's
Well, and that's perfect because in my head, the three of us, as we're kind of waiting for him, we're mainly just walking and talking. It's like an episode of West Wing where we're always just kind of
People giving us papers.
But then,
just
points,
one continuous shot, just like walking down and up the aisles.
At certain points, though, like somebody might see a shop and be like, "Oh, stop in for this," and that's kind of logistically how we get our shopping done. But this is more of us getting away from our ship and having an area to just kind of talk a little more relaxed.
Mm. So I don't suppose this airport shop has these grenades.
That sort of
That's
thing.
not TSA approved.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like
That's all I really need is
simple,
maybe rations.
like rations, like adventuring kind of stuff, and like light armor and small arms. It's just, it's a pretty basic one. Like I said, you would have to possibly go down back to the city, or do your shopping elsewhere.
I'm not spending
your
my
heavy
money.
shopping. That is.
But well, it's just there's better places where there's going to be more stuff that I actually want to look for. Speaking of which,
Don't want any of that dank Calo tech, dude.
And you try through this sequence, we'll say you guys also try like the local fair. Through this whole sequence, you haven't really had time to really absorb Calo culture. But there's a couple of different like stands of like, local fish. It's like space equivalent of sushi. There's some
Spooshy.
space
sushi.
really unique flavors abound. Depending on who wants to
I'm doing
try
that.
it. You try it. There's several like very spicy.
I want to get some unagi.
Yeah.
Spoonagi. Space unagi.
Space unagi.
Yeah, space.
Yeah. Space shimi. Yeah. A lot of that stuff. Spashimi.
Everything just has a spa in front of
Yeah,
us.
so you
what's
just-
spaghetti then?
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti
I'm
already
sorry.
comes from space.
Are you having
What are
a-
you talking
are you
about?
having-
It's in the name.
Space spaghetti.
And
Space spaghetti.
And in
If
a
it did
lot of
come
the
from space, it'd be called
situations,
spaghetti.
the meals are
Is it
either
Okay.
very recently alive or still moving. So
That's
like
what I'm used to.
calamari style, just like still
Calamari.
swirling around like there's an eel on a stick. He like
calamari.
grabs it out of a tank and just
Just
puts
like
it
an
on
old boy, I just take the thing and let it ride around my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. It's just really vivid and very
An experience for all the senses.
It would be culture shock if you hadn't already spent multiple days here already. So it's just kind of like you're coming down from it. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's
Someone
that's
caved in and
something.
finally tried the local fair.
Yeah, and I mean,
We've
Anybody
been
was
surviving
gonna
off
do it.
like McDonald's and our own rations. And
so and it seems like word had got around about your guys' situation, so you guys actually haven't had to pay for it either. So it's not
Well,
you're not getting like full
Unagi
course
free.
meals, but you're getting samples of things that you see other people paying for. You get kind of some like occasional side glares from like merchants, but the Colo merchants that are giving you this, pay them no mind.
I have a question. Does our ship have one of them there food makers on it? I forget what they're called in Star Trek.
Cooks.
Like a food processor,
No,
like a food fabricator.
Fabricator,
Fabricator, synthesizer, whatever.
Synthesizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Space Kitchen.
It does, just because the way that most anything is kind of like made is like there's like nano kind of like particles essentially. Like it's one thing that you guys could theoretically look into more is how things are made is through these tiny polymer like very very like almost subatomic kind of like bonding agents. And in some cases, like for the majority of the part, though, it's like it's food. It's just food. We'll say, but it is fabric. It just needs like the base material. And you guys have
now, or can I wait?
Think of it as like your ship has been sourced with enough materials for like 2 weeks worth of food.
Of surviving off
of that stuff. Yeah. It's like it's got enough like materials for it. We'll say.
I want to look for something specific. Actually, I'd like to try and find a junk shop.
A junk shop, just garbage.
Not necessarily, but just like some place that does like drone repairs and just like electronics, and they do the nitty gritty, and they
have
like
a
Lotto's
Sonays
shop from episode 1.
pretty much.
Okay.
No, like Sonays shop from episode 15.
Is that no?
Yeah, like
episode
Sonays.
15. I think you guys were still on the planet almost.
Like similar to Sonays.
There's not an investigation check. I don't think. I'm still like half
Perception.
Perception.
Culture.
Yes, actually, we'll do culture.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Actually,
it's a different.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely different from your normal thing. So yeah, sure. I'll just try to source a roll to do.
13.
13. Takes a little while. You have to speak a little. You got to kind of carry a conversation a little bit more with some of the Colo. They seem more interested in like getting to know you. They're like the opposite of what. They
Buzz
were
do most of
acting
the
like,
talking.
yeah, no, and Buzz is happy, because he's shaking hands and putting his hands on his hips and really enunciating his head that wasn't there before. But eventually, you do find another shop. Weirdly enough, you don't speak Colo, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Would Buzz be able to translate?
He's
been around these people for a little while.
That's how he talks to him. He's just like,
we'll say he can connect to the local, just for reading sake. He can connect to
them at
the
all?
local infonet.
They can speak common.
There's common. Common is like the universal language. It's like the
Space English, kind of like
Spanglish. It's the game mechanic equivalent of a universal translator, essentially. He translates it, and he's like, it actually is Colo for Sonays.
Well, I'll let Warren come on, Buzz. And I'm so flustered. I'm just like going and busted in those doors.
Yep.
That's Sonic mayonnaise.
And you see a Colo who is like behind the desk, sorting through like random junk. He just kind of looks up. And he like quick comes around and he just gives you a very deep, respectful bow. And he looks at you. How can I help you?
I'm just so excited right now. I don't even. How can you help me? And what am I looking for? Buzz. What do we?
Well, I mean, he kind of like starts, showing you around. Like, gives you a quick. Like, he assumes that you're already like following him. He's like moving. He's like, well, we have many rebreathers, fishing equipment. Anything in particular that you're looking for?
What do you have that's maybe unique that you've never seen before?
I mean, it's my shop. I've seen it at least once.
But something has to come in here at some point that you've never seen before. Am I right? I mean, as a fellow businessman, I used to own a place Not as fancy as this, but
It
something
seems
sort of
like
this
it seems
operation
like
here.
this Carlos has absorbed a little bit more culture from other people, like because he's actually tapping on the glass of his like helmet. He's just like like almost like trying to tap on the chin, like side of the head, sort of thing. Give me 1 minute. Stay right here.
Buzz, you heard the man. Back off. Give him some
Be
room.
right back.
Give him some room.
And he disappears, and you hear like the rumbling, very reminiscent of when you were at Sonays on Absalom Station. Just the occasional like, and like the aquatic equivalent of what you assume is cussing.
And in my head, there's also diesel engine, beep, beep, like forklifts.
And he comes back out, and he has like this tiny little octagonal sort of piece of like electronic equipment, and he walks up. Someone had just brought this in. They had said it was broken, but I was able to fix it. This is what's called a Starstone compass.
Oh.
And you would know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
The Starstone compass is like a navigational device, the space equivalent of like a sextant, except for the fact that it's partially magical because it always is attuned to the Starstone, the basically drift anchor beacon that's in Absalom Station. You know of it, through your piloting. That's how a lot of travel out of and into the Pact worlds seems to be possible. More importantly, it actually seems to be more efficient in the Pact World system. So it makes it a lot easier for you to travel in the system, like more efficiently, or it's less likely for you to get lost in the vastness of space.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I've seen one of those in a few years now, but the one I saw was from a distance. Sorry, rambling. How much would the person be coming back for it, or is up for sale?
They left it. It was, like I said, it was broken at the time, but don't want to brag. I'm pretty handy, and I was able to fix it. Fortunately, could let it go to you for
You should say you work there.
5 credits.
Employee discount.
Well, sir, I think you have a very fair deal. I'll take that off your hands. Is there anything else that's not maybe currently working, but you think could be useful to somebody at some point? Maybe parts for a ship, or a spare part for a gun, or some sort of mod, or some,
He kind of looks around, and he's
That's my wheeling and dealing accent.
How about that gun?
and he kind of.
Holy shit.
Oh, he knows.
He
all
facepalms.
He knows all about it. No, he's all there with me.
Okay.
He's like, give me.
He's nodding.
1 minute. And he like runs into the back once more. You're like more bang, 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 clang, clang.
It's always the same process, isn't it, Buzz? I mean, there's never a clean inventory system.
And he comes back out with, and he's like kind of sheepishly like holding on to it, like brings it up, shows you. It looks like 2 pieces of some sort of like, it almost looks like a pistol at first, but it's got a handle at like a 45-degree angle. It's cracked severely, almost to the point where it's like broken in 2. And you see coming out of the front of it a long piece of wire connected to what appears to be a 3-pronged like hook. And he's like, a gentleman thought this might be a good fishing tool. He was trying to get around it. Clearly he wasn't aware of the ferocity of the aquatic wildlife here at Kalamahoy. I mean, I could sell this to you. I don't really feel like I should, just because he like shows it to you.
Please do. This is a beautiful
Very
piece you
visibly
brought me.
Broken. I mean, normally these things are a little bit more expensive. 400 credits? Seem fair?
Seems fair. Seems like a fair business deal from a fair businessman. I should mention, I am sort of employed by Mr. Sonays himself. Work kind of under him directly.
Bluff or deception, I believe. Or is it
It's
bluff?
bluff work. Yeah.
Bluff, yeah, bluff check.
-2. Let's do it. Natural 20.
Nat-
So a total of 18, but it's
18?
a natural 20.
Fuck it.
That's the. I was like, if there's ever a time that a natural 20 would help me.
There's like a split second where you don't recognize it, but the light sources that were his eyes kind of widen, and you can definitely tell it's like, oh shit, kind of thing. And he's like,
Undercover boss.
oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that. He like kind of looks at you, and he looks at at Buzz, and he's like, was this a test?
No, not at all. I'm just a customer. I'm only mentioning it because I'm going to bring the price down slightly.
Oh, well, 375.
I don't know. Okay, we haven't spent too much time here on Kalamahoy. Are you all telepathic, or but that was the number I had in my head? That was just it was a weird moment we shared there.
Well, I figured, but I haven't seen him in a while, so I just
Fair enough.
And I've shoved my hand into his and started shaking it. Like,
375. You got a deal.
his hand's really slimy. But he hands over the pieces, and it is a grappler, and it is actually what it sounds like. It's essentially a hook shot, like a grappling gun.